tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja. Kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Hello there, this is Farm Kenya show right here on KTN Home and KTN Farmers TV. This is where we delve deeper into agriculture, looking at the various ways in which different farmers do farming. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi, and of course joined by my very inspiring co-host
Marian Munyanganga. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm excited for today's show because we will be talking about agri-financing. What does this mean to you, Kelvin?
For me, agri-financing, it depends with how you look at it. It can be and it could be the way a farmer is helped with the inputs and also the seeds. Also, if you need chicks in your farm, and also on this other side, how you can get funds in order for you to do your farming.
I'm very excited for what you have said because we will be focusing on how you can get it right across all the value chain when, as Kelvin has said, it comes to the farm inputs and also the finances themselves. But for now, here is what Kelvin has prepared for us on Agri News.
Welcome. Now, this is Agri News. In an effort to improve the country's food production and security, as well as farmers' incomes, the Kenya National Farmers Federation, KENAF, in collaboration with Two Scale Program, have formed the Inclusive Agribusiness Club. The club's objective is to create a symbiotic working relationship with all stakeholders in the agricultural sector. KENAF CEO David Mailutha believes such collaborations will not only hasten the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals 1 and 2 on no hunger, but also provide a network for networking and learning.
Women have mentioned a struggle, let's say, for example, delivering raw materials, which leads to finally accessing to finance. We had training on how to pitch.
Sustainable inclusion _Kenya.
Low-income markets and so on and so forth. So all this is complemented by small catalytic grants.
There's a lot of disjointedness in how these three sectors are working together. When you look at the public sector, the government at the national level and the county level, one at the national level, they are doing their own things. The county level is doing its own things. When you look at the private sector, you know, they are not really talking to each other, with each other. When you look at the civil society sector, you know, there's also a lot of silos, you know, each organization doing their small piece of a bigger puzzle. So we thought if we could bring this club together, if we could establish a platform, a forum, where we could bring all these voices together so that if we are talking about transforming agricultural production and productivity, so we are talking about how do we enhance farmers' incomes, all these actors, because we do believe that each of the actors, be it in the private sector, in the public sector, in the civil society sector, each actor has a role to play.
We have brought together more than 10 partners who are both private and public and private sector actors to hear what each of them is doing and therefore learn from lessons learned by implementing various projects, including those that are probably in the pipeline, and how we can influence these programs, or we can use the lessons learned to do more inclusive interventions to help one another to think about how to build resilient communities, how to promote inclusivity in what we do, and what resources we can bring together for a sustainable platform that can go beyond the life of projects like the Two Scale program.
There's a great opportunity for all of us within the food system. The food system players to be more gender responsive. How you deliver trainings, how you message, let's say, for example, better agricultural practices, how ideas, learn from each other, and also see how to push this inclusive agribusiness club to a point where it is from ideation all the way to full sustainability.
Now, for decades, Baringo South has been synonymous with banditry. Areas like Arabal, Mukutani, and Mochongoi bore the brunt of this violence, with hundreds losing their lives and livelihoods. Displacement became a grim reality, leaving once thriving communities shattered. But a new story is being written in Baringo South. A quiet revolution is underway, fueled not by weapons but by seeds. Residents are turning away from their traditional livestock farming as a way of life and are embracing agriculture. This shift, they say, is leading to a gradual decline in the rampant insecurity that has plagued the region.
Hii nyumba 350 moja.
Haini yako peke yako? Baringo South imekuwa imetengwa sana kwa sababu hata mambo ya mabarabara hakuna. Na hii equalization fund ikikuja kama inatusaidia ku open up roads, itakuwa imetusaidia sana, imeturejesha sasa mahali hata watu wengine wako.
Sisi tumeamua juu unaona hii mang'ombe sasa inatuletea shida juu hii watu wanatakanga ng'ombe ama mtu. Sasa tumeona heri tulime kama serikali watatusupport, tulime hii mashamba, watatengenezea hata maji, ikuja kwa mashamba, watengeneze kitu kama irrigation, ndio tutaaja maneno ya kufuka mang'ombe ama mbuzi.
Mabarabara ndio shida, na tungeomba kama kuna maendeleo inaweza letwa area hii sana ni mambo ya barabara, because we have so many insecurity roads ambazo hazijatengenezwa, na zikitengenezwa zitamaliza mambo ya insecurity kabisa, na wakulima watakuwa na barabara nzuri ya kusafirisha mazao yao.
Hii barabara kutoka Lamaiwe ateremuke kupitia Karkoron, Kibiriokwo ateremuke Kashela. Hiyo ifunguliwe tunaomba. Hii barabara nyingine kutoka Lamaiwe ateremuke Tandar, iende mpaka Seremwe na iende mpaka Busta huko chini, huko mlima huko juu. Hiyo barabara tunaomba ifunguliwe pia. Akifunguliwa barabara itafunguza kwanza nguvu ya walivu yale inaiva.
Now, the Standard Group has partnered with other stakeholders in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, to mitigate the effects of climate change by planting trees at the Eldoret Golf Club during the Standard Classic Golf event. The Standard Group, Acre Hotel, Eldoret Hospital and the club planted more than 1,000 trees at the facility to mark its 100th anniversary. Now, Standard Group Editor-in-Chief Ochieng Rapuro says that the initiative aligns with the company's support for the presidential call to plant 50 billion trees in the country.
This is part of the greater agenda of the Standard Group. As a group, we are very environment sensitive and conscious, and therefore the environment speaks to our lives and how it's interconnected. They've just released some statistics indicating that this is the 12th hottest year in a row in history, and therefore a call to action to reduce this progression of global warming is with us right here on the ground.
Today we are here to celebrate tree planting and in Eldoret Golf Club, where we are also celebrating being part of a partnership with the Standard Group. We have planted a tree here as a progress to the call from the President to plant as many trees as possible.
The condition of the environment will always affect the air quality, and of course that is what we are also turning 50 years as a facility, and one of our mantra is of course to make sure that the environment is friendly so that we can have better outcomes when it comes to healthcare.
Today we celebrate our partners, the Standard Group, Eldoret Hospital, Acre Hotel, for giving us this opportunity. We've had a wonderful day since we started in the morning, and as we wind up the day by planting trees, we share in the joy and celebration of planting trees as we work towards the 15 billion dream of the President in ensuring that by the end of the year we've planted 15 billion trees.
Now, members of the clergy from Baringo County are asking the government to supply food to victims of insecurity and floods after they were evicted from their homes. Speaking after distributing food to the victims in Marigat, Full Gospel Churches of Kenya Central Rift Region overseer Reverend Samuel Gitu noted that the affected have been suffering after being displaced from their homes and urged the government to provide them with food since their livelihoods were affected.
Because hii unaona vile watu wanakaa hapa hivi magara
hata leo tumesikia.
Mzee, baada ya siku 3 Mungu atakuja.
Baringo is in hunger. They are in need of food. We request the government that as much as we receive from NGOs, we receive from churches and other organizations, we want to request the government to consider providing food to these areas where they have suffered too much insecurity and floods and hunger.
Kwa wale ambao wamepokonywa mali yao na wakaidi, tunaomba serikali ishughulikie fidia, maana wana haki.
Naomba serikali iweze kuongeza hali ya usalama, kwa sababu mahali hapo ni mahali ambapo ni potential. Kuna rasilimali nyingi ambazo hazitumiki sasa kwa sababu ya hali ya usalama.
The government embarked on a national worldwide census recently, the second in 3 years, in a bid to establish the ideal picture of the country's wildlife populations. The exercise, whose report informs on conservation and other strategies, was launched on Wednesday by the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, Alfred Mutua, at the Masai Mara Game Reserve. Ken Gashuhi reports.
On Wednesday, Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua officially launched the 2024 National Wildlife Census exercise at the Masai Mara Game Reserve in Narok County. The exercise, which is the second one of its kind after the inaugural 2021 census, will use modern technology including satellite imagery and will be completed within 1 year as one of the government's efforts to step up conservation.
This National Wildlife Strategy outlines a vision for wildlife conservation. And these ones have helped us even in translocation when we decide where we want to move some animals.
These methodologies will ensure that we gather reliable data on wildlife populations, their distribution, and the status of their habitats. This team will not only be looking for wildlife, they will be looking for any illegal activity.
Through the National Wildlife Census, the Ministry of Tourism seeks to get invaluable insights into the country's wildlife populations for conservation and other strategies. Researchers, however, say climate change and human activity have continued to significantly impact animal habitats and behavior, and this census is expected to generate a report that shall give recommendations to address these challenges.
The impact of climate change are becoming increasingly evident, affecting wildlife habitats and migration patterns. The census will help us understand these changes better and devise strategies to mitigate their effects.
Our wildlife populations are declining, and we want to know why. And it's not just about human habitation. We want to find what is happening. And the only way to find out is to quantify. But there are other species of animals that are also increasing.
The Masai Mara Game Reserve, which is famous for the wildebeest migration, has been cited as one of the habitats that have been greatly affected by human activities leading to conflict.
Habitat loss, stress and pressures on wildlife on the Kenyan side of the Serengeti Mara ecosystem is very intense compared to Tanzania. And what that means is that you're going to start losing tourism stays because people come to see the migration.
We are reducing this building of camps and have what we call ecologies. Instead of building big lodges, we now have very small ones, just for the high season. And to a certain places, not just everywhere, but certain places.
Stakeholders in this sector say that the nation has lost many animals during the dry seasons over the past 4 years.
The last 4 years, we experienced serious drought in this country. That is the time that we lost the highest number of elephants that we recorded and others that were not able to record. All these challenges, Chief Guest, are really compounding our effort in water conservation.
The 2021 census spanned over 343,000 square kilometers, covering approximately 60% of Kenya's total landmass. The count established 13,500 Maasai giraffes, 1,160 cheetahs, more than 36,000 elephants, 2,500 lions, 842 white rhinos, and 900 black rhinos. Ken Gashuhi, KTN News.
Despite Kenyan women constituting 75% of the agricultural labor force, they face numerous economic challenges due to limited access to resources and inputs, social and cultural barriers, policy and institutional constraints, and the impacts of climate change. The prolonged drought from 2021 to 2023 severely damaged local livelihoods and assets, according to the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA), pushing millions into poverty as farm production declined. However, Caroline Ngaya, a livestock farmer from Kitui, has turned challenges into opportunities with the right breeds. She is making thousands from the sales of her livestock products. Our reporter Levis Musumba caught up with Caroline and filed the following story.
In the heart of Malele Village, Mutomo Ward, Kitui County, Caroline Ngaya embodies rural resilience and success in livestock rearing.
Nilikuwa nafunga tu kuku tu yeyote, nikipata huko nanunua naweka, lakini wakati huo ilikuwa inanisaidia. Lakini wakati mradi ulikuja na kunisomesha, kwanza nikanjua kukeep record, nikanjua vile na separate zile kuku mbaya na zile nzuri kama improved.
Caroline embarked on her journey with training from FAO officers, focusing on livestock breeding and management to mitigate the effects of climate change and food insecurity. Today, she manages a small ranch with 35 gala goats and a thriving poultry farm with 202 birds, turning her farm into a sustainable and profitable venture.
Kwa sasa niko na kuku 202. Last 1 week niliuza njogoo 13. Njogoo moja ilikuwa inaingia 15. Nikapelekea mtoto shule, nikalipa. Dume tunachangua zile kubwa kulingana na size ile inatakikana ya ngala na za kike. Zile zinazaa vizuri mapacha. Juzi niliuza ndume 2. Nikapewa 42,000.
The Women Economic Empowerment through Climate Smart Agriculture project, funded by the Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA, through UN Women, has provided 40 women-led groups in Kitui County with access to climate-smart agricultural technologies, financial services, and leadership training.
Tangu hii mradi wa WCSA ulipotusomesha, nimefaidika sana na chakula. Kama last season nilitoa ngunia 24, 15 za mahindi, za ndengu 5, za cowpeas 3, na maharagwe 1.
Caroline is among the empowered women transforming their livelihoods through this initiative.
Kwa sasa mama ako na pesa yake, anjaanjiriwa eti ni mwalimu ama ni nani. Kwa ile mama alikuwa chini kama mimi, haitanji mambo ya eti nitumie, asumbuangi mzee, asumbuangi watoto, anajifanyia na pesa yake.
Phoebe Mutemi, CCM for Gender in Kitui County, emphasizes that climate-smart policies are essential in creating an enabling environment for women in agriculture.
Women in the communities have also been educated on policy making, implementation, leadership skills, and so forth.
Through dedication and the right support, women like Caroline are turning challenges into opportunities, driving economic empowerment in rural Kitui County. For KTN News, I'm Levis Musumba.
An initiative to promote and improve air quality and community health in sub-Saharan Africa is introducing stoves that use less charcoal and firewood. Juma Majanga reports from Nakuru, Kenya.
At a local market in Nakuru, a town in Kenya's Rift Valley region, Josephine Abongo is busy attending to customers at her cook stoves shop. Abongo produces and sells clay-molded energy-saving stoves that she says are a great improvement to the open fire cooking technology used in most rural homes in Kenya.
So what we are doing is to bring back the traditional technology, but in an improved way, in a digital way, so that it can be used even in urban homes. That way we will save trees, we will save the environment, and we will save our health. We will also save economically because the economy is currently bad and people don't have money.
The project is being implemented by Practical Action, a development-focused non-governmental organization.
I think it's becoming a talk that we are moving the discussion towards ensuring that our local people transit from the traditional cooking solutions to the new cooking solutions that save their lives.
Health experts say cooking smoke is a major health risk, especially to rural populations in sub-Saharan Africa. Data from Kenya's Ministry of Health estimates that 21,500 premature deaths occur each year as a result of indoor air pollution triggered by cooking.
The use of firewood, as we know, when it burns, that smoke is direct. It's worse than even when you smoke because there is a filter. This is the primary use of the smoke, which has a lot of effect in the lungs.
Unlike traditional stoves, the improved devices are designed so the flame is aimed directly at the cooking pot to avoid wasting heat. They also have just one opening for charcoal and firewood instead of three. And they are constructed with a thick liner made from a special type of clay for heat conservation. All these factors make the stoves up to 40% more efficient, reducing consumption of firewood and charcoal. Practical Action says around 200,000 improved cook stoves have been sold by more than 300 trained entrepreneurs like Abongo. Kagoto Danji Vocational Training Center is one institution that has adopted the cleaner cooking technology. Principal Malaki Manasseh says the move has cut costs for the institution.
We used to have a full-ton lorry of firewood a term, but the way I've implemented it, I've saved almost 80% of that, which is a plus for us.
Last year's International Energy Agency annual conference in Nairobi called for an acceleration of universal access to cleaner cooking through government incentives and subsidies. Practical Action's Team Mwangi says funding remains a major problem for African countries.
Well, we have very good policies, but in terms of funding, then it needs to match the good policies that we have in there.
Kenya aims to achieve 100% access to clean cooking by 2028, in line with UN Sustainable Development Goals. Joma Majanga, VOA News, Nakuru, Kenya.
Now, poor and vulnerable communities in northeastern Kenya are still feeling the wrath of extreme climate change effects, such as the 2022 long drought. In the last few months, these effects have worsened due to the effects of recent floods, which have not only caused displacements, but also led to the loss of livelihoods. Our correspondent Ahmed Hussein visited some of the affected regions in Wajir County and now reports on how nomadic communities are coping with these climatic challenges.
Here in Boa, a village in Wajir County, 70-year-old Nuh Daoud sits under this tree in a pensive mood. Over a year ago, Nuh, who is also a disabled person, had over 40 cattle and about as many goats, but now he has none. He says he lost his entire livestock to the long drought.
I had many livestock. I had many cattle, but today I don't even have one. The drought has wiped out all my livestock.
Nuh got a reprieve after he was enlisted in a cash transfer program by the International Organization of Migration in partnership with local organizations such as Wajir South Development Association or WASDA and Ireland Development Focus, ALDEF, funded by the United Nations Central Emergency Response Fund in Wajir County. Nuh says he used the funds to support his family and pay for his children's education.
The funds have helped us a lot. I have used it to buy milk for myself and pay for my children's fees. We are grateful to the organization, but I still need more support.
In Kahira village in Wajir East, Ruqia Abdi, also a beneficiary, started a small business out of the funds. She is knitting a traditional hat which she sells to displaced nomads for profit. Ruqia also sells foodstuffs and a few clothes.
I used the money to start the knitting business and to pay the fees. Set up this kiosk. We thank them, but we are requesting the organization to support us more.
In the program, over 5,500 poor and vulnerable persons hard hit by climate shocks received a monthly capital ranging between 7,000 to 8,400 in 3 cycles. Despite the interventions, experts have called for more action to avert the crisis in future.
Actually, in future, we are planning and appealing the donors for kind of the integrated programs where we can support these households, if possible, the agriculture sector, maybe to support some households through the restocking, and then economic recovery, maybe to start the household economic affairs like business startups.
Ahmed Hussein, KTN News, Wajir County.
All right, that is all we had for you on Agri News, but right now, let's go and listen to Sauti ya Mkulima.
My name is Diana Musau. Nafanya kazi kwa Colette Group of Companies and I'm a marketer. I do marketing. I market our fruits which are of a very good quality. Yeah.
So yule farmer kule nje ambaye angependa kumarket vitu zake, ni nini kulingana experience yako, what are the traits anafaa kuwe nazo?
Kitu ya kwanza, unafaa kuwe make sure your fruits are of a good quality and then upatiane na a good price. Like kama unauza price cheap, not that cheap, but kama unauza vizuri, obvious utauza. Na zikuwe you maintain usafi.
That's all we had for you on Agri News and Sauti ya Mkulima, but for now we're going on a short commercial break. Remember, endelea kutuongelesha kwenye mtandao. Our social media are right there below on your screen and we'll definitely engage back. See you after the break.
Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja. Kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Kenya. Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi. Kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja. Kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Kenya.
All right, and now we're going to go to the field and look at what the youths have to tell us when it comes to agriculture.
and welcome to Youth in Agriculture. My name is Marion Munyao Nganga. Now, this show is very exciting and different from what we're used to bringing you because we are on the last phase of the agricultural value chain. We are at Organic Farmers Market located here in Karen, and today I have the privilege to meet with the founder, who is called Dennis Andai, who will be telling us why exactly he thought of coming up with such an agribusiness idea. Dennis, welcome.
Thank you
to the show. Kindly introduce yourself.
So let me introduce myself. So my name is Dennis Andai. I'm part of the team that runs the Organic Farmers Market. I've been in the space for about 13, 14 years. I got into the space mainly because of my own health challenges. I had developed an autoimmune disease, and in the face of trying to deal with it and managing it, there's a line that I read, through research that said I could manage my autoimmune disease by eating organic. So I said I wanted to combine both the medication and eating well and seeing how best I could manage my health condition by just regaining and just, getting better and things like that. So when the time was ripe for me to start eating, I really wanted to eat organic. And I remember by then I used to live with my girlfriend, and she went out to look for organic produce, but she came back. And when she came back, she was like, I just couldn't pick anything because there was no story, there was no connection. Everyone would say, oh, this was brought by this lorry, it was dropped here, I don't know it came from where. Really? And at that point, is when this whole idea around producing my own food. So let me put it that way. It was about producing for my own consumption. So it started from a self-centered point, And so I became a farmer. I started producing my own food. I went mainly the leafy green, a range of that, from your Italian spinach, normal spinach, Swiss chard, your, American kale, kawaida sukuma wiki, whatever you can imagine, lots of herbs and spices, a few free-range chicken here and there. But I wasn't a farmer, I didn't have that background, but I wanted just to produce food as natural as one could, and so ideally my place just became more of a food forest, You'd walk in there, there's like different things, growing here and there, kids would jump in and you'd see them just picking things and putting in their mouth. I started opening up my place on weekends for people to come and access this food. And from there, I bumped into another, like when you meet like-minded people, and then this person was like, why don't you think of opening a market? So, but at that point, it didn't open a market. There was an existence of sort of like an organic farmers market, where the mall, the Harbies, there used to be a restaurant called Rusty Nail, so there was those activities going in there. We had people like Lillian Marema, we had guys like John Scully, and over time, this moved into Talisman, and I wanted to understand more on how these people are producing food and how we could grow a market, a community market, a farmer's market, where the community comes, they meet producers who are doing a good job and people that are looking for this food, come together with the interest of course, farmers having to make the money and then the producers finding what they need. So, but I think it was just an idea ahead of its time. But when you believe in something, and trying to change that, should I say, a mindset or the thinking around, because the feeling then was like anything that grows in Kenya is organic. Which wasn't the case. And beyond that, the thought of someone coming to a farmer's market and interacting with a farmer wasn't also there, So
because we are used to the brokers,
Yeah, you go to a kiosk, you find a mama mboga, you pick what you pick, you don't ask them where it's coming from, or you go to any other open market, oh, this looks good, that looks this way, you load in your basket, boom. Anyway, so we kept moving, so we had producers, I remember there's a time we had as low as 6 producers.
Dennis, before you tell me when this market started, let me have a sip of my delicious, you told me this is dawa.
That is dawa.
Yeah.
So it's ginger, turmeric, with a bit of black pepper in it.
And of course, very organic.
Yes. Good.
Delicious. So when did this market start?
So, I mean, like, we can define this market in phases, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't a totally new idea. But from 2010 to 2012, I would say that was like a very defining moment. It was very slow. The idea was ahead of its time. But, you know, something was happening, you know? It used to be like a once-a-month event to twice a month to, you know, 3 times, then finally every week. There are periods where we would operate from 9 in the morning to 1 p.m., you know, we close everything. And then, you know, over time, you're like, okay, maybe 9 to about 3, 9 to about 4. And then as we continue doing what we were doing, you know, the thing is the relentlessness just to keep the doors open and pushing this agenda around health. That's what kept us going. It wasn't. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about fame or whatever, or just being the first one to do it. It was just about health. You know, something that I'd experienced. I'd gone through it. I was feeling that I was getting my life back, and I felt there was a need to keep pushing this. You know. Now, from 2012, 2013, you know, again, it started like kind of like growing. But during that year, we were strictly working with organic producers, you know, farmers, smallholder farmers. Most of them were all smallholder farmers. There was nothing to do with value addition. And then by around 2014 is when we got the first value-added producer. They were doing coffee. And then there was the need to grow the market or let the market evolve based on customers. I call them fans, you know, because most of the customers would come with their shopping basket, load all the produce, but then they'd be like, from here, I have to go to a supermarket to get bread, cheese, I don't know, honey, whatever spread. So then they started saying, could you help us get most of these things that we need in our kitchen in this one-stop space? So, you know, could we get good quality breads, you know, healthy breads, you know, healthy jams, you know, whatever dip, oils and things like that. So that's how the market started evolving. So we started taking in the value-added food producers. Again, a very slow process, but it was very steady. Then periods of 2017 to about 2020, we felt we had achieved some success, but there was always room for growth. And then 2020, again, we started well, COVID came, we had to close for about 3 months, and then we reopened and the market just took off, you know? And now it's just a living on its own, you know? There's total life here, you know? The whole community, producers, I mean, it's just one vibrant place where once a week people can meet, you know, to laugh, to share a meal, to load whatever they want for the week, and everybody goes wherever they go at the end of the day.
Having started with 6 vendors, how many farmers are you currently working with?
So, I mean, like the total number of the network of our farmers is about 50-something, but for at every market day it's about 20 to 27. Because, I mean, in nature, not everybody has everything, you know, throughout the season. So there are farmers, let's say, if they don't have anything, they will never show up. And then there are those that will only come if they have whatever they have. So there's the cycle of who has what during what, you know? And then there are those that are here throughout the season with us because they just adopt and grow based on what the season.
Exactly. And cheers to more growth.
Brilliant.
Liz, we can drink to that. Now, you mentioned that this place has purely based organic products. How do you ensure that the produce that these farmers have are purely organic?
So I'm going to explain something there very quickly. We are not going to guarantee you that it's organic because I've got to be real. But what happens, the selection process, the onboarding of the producers, the actual farmers, we lean in the direction of organic. So if you are an organic producer, we're happy to have you on board, okay? If you're not an organic producer, we still want you. And I'll explain why we want you. We want you because the organic movement is not going to grow if you're not going to convert the conventional farmers to change their production into organic, okay?
Okay.
So what happens, so so if you come to us, you are organic, yes, we want you. If you're a conventional farmer, we want you, but you have to undergo a transition.
What does this transition involve?
So transition means you've got to stop anything that is conventional in your production, and you've got to be very disciplined, and your farm has to be inspected. So it's like if you're a drug addict,
yeah.
if you stop, then the process of you being clean starts. So would you rather continue eating 100% conventional product, or would you eat 99% of conventional product?
I will go for 100% organic.
100% organic, but the reality is you're not going to get that easily.
Yeah.
So you have to encourage these producers. I mean, it's an easy way. We all know how the market is. You know, we all know how farmers are struggling.
Yeah.
We all know how farmers are poor, and they will continue to remain poor. And the thing is this: when all these conditions that make the production to be, should I use high yield? If you use this, then you're going to get that. If you do this, you're going to get that. But then when we get to the market, you're given terrible prices. Then what happens? This farmer will they jump into getting into organic, keeping in mind they're still going to get the same terrible prices? They won't.
Yeah.
So, and then it just becomes a process. So this person was 100% conventional or way terrible. But over time, 1% is gone, now 1% good, 99 bad. 2% good, 98. I've got a classic case of a producer who's actually one of our best producers right now. The year 2014, 2015, I met them. And I said, listen, for you to be on board, then you've got to go organic or start transitioning. And he was very disciplined. He let his farm stay fast, but then he started just growing herbs, different types of herbs, just gradually bringing that to the market, and then slowly introducing that leafy green, that.
Yeah.
And they started with a very small table. And now they've got a whole booth with tons of crates, full of amazing produce. So we are encouraging. All we want is, and you've got to love it again. You've got to care for the environment. You've got to care about yourself, and the people around you.
On the first part of the show, you've talked about how you came to start, but now how you've continued to work with more farmers and transitioning them from being conventional farmers to organic farmers. How does this make you feel?
I mean, you would imagine it's common sense that we all have to eat good food, but it's never the case, A lot of people don't pay attention what gets into their lips, Very few people. I just want something delicious, tasty, but no one really pays attention on how it was produced.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of connection between how it's produced and the human health, From my own experience, I can tell there's so much around food that determines who we become, To keep this human body alive, you've got to feed it with, with the best of the very best if you really care about yourself. So it's never been easy. It's never been easy at any particular point to continue getting these producers, but we are constantly looking for them. We are constantly talking to different farmer organizations, farmer groups, encouraging existing farmers to talk to the neighboring farmers to get into this movement of good food production, straight, be it direct production or be it in value addition. So, but we've seen just a steady growth, and it's been amazing. Yeah.
Now that leads me to my next question. How do you get these farmers?
So, a number of ways. I mean, with the online spaces, it's amazing, We're always getting inquiries. How can I be part of it? So the next question is, what do you want to sell at the market, or how do you want to be part of the market? Somebody might say, I'm a farmer, so we want to know where's your farm, and you have to set an appointment where market representatives with the experts around organic agriculture, organic production would visit the farm to, one, authenticate that actually the first step, this person has a farm. They're not buying to sell. And whoever is producing most likely will be behind the table selling. And once they qualify that, and then they're happy to keep up with the process, then we get you on board. But then every year we try as much as possible, twice a year, to make sure that there's a visit in your farm to see what is this person doing. And of course, also in terms of checks, we always know, we have a record of what each farm grows at any given point. So we're checking, oh, carrots are there, and it's
Yeah,
pseudo.
yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't have to be like a market representative. It could be even a pseudo person on our behalf to check. Oh, but you never had the capsicum. How come now you have this capsicum? When did you grow that? How? And then we go back and so if there's anything questionable, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That really helps in maintaining traceability.
Correct.
Yeah, because I know right now consumers are really into where is this product from.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, on to the next question. What are the requirements that you already set in order for a farmer to come on board and join in?
So from farmers, there are a couple of things, soil fertility, pest control, neighboring farms, source of water, to things like seeds and seedlings. So we look at all that. For instance, how do you feed your soil? How do you make your soil nutritious, Do you have a composting area? In terms of pests, what pest control methods do you use? We want to know that, so you have to give us that story. You've got to show us. Neighboring farms, I could be organic here. My neighbor next door is not organic.
Definitely, I'm not
Cross-contamination, you know? So what happens is the distance between your farm and the farmer and the buffer zone, that also has to be looked at. Water.
Which is the recommended one?
I mean, it varies from, but you can imagine the practicality of if I don't have a bigger farm and I have to move, then it becomes a problem. But there are things like, we'd encourage, you can plant like bananas, you can maize, you can create that, And then water, if it's river water, again, there's always like other farmers and, collection of all those pesticides and whatever. So do you have a place where the water rests first before
going?
So all those details, we look at that.
Okay, nice. So once they get here, is there a fee that they charge or they pay?
So of course, there is a fee to join the market. We've got to be self-sustainable. And we have to be profitable for us to continue operating. But again, the way the market is designed over the years, we've always worked with homes. But for the last, from about 2021 to now, we are exclusively working with one particular home called RICO, Real Hope Community Center in Kawangware. And ideally what happens, all the profit goes to the home. Like today's collection, after paying all our costs, all the profits will go to RICO. And then that money, they use that money to buy the organic produce that goes to feed the kids at the center.
That's a smart way of putting it. So how do you make profit?
We already made profit. And that profit is, once we pay our costs, the rest of the money goes to the home.
Obviously.
And we want to see if we can grow that so that it does not only just take care of the food, but can also take care of their education.
Now, what products do you have here?
I mean, the range is wide, So let me just start with the fresh farm category, So you'll find like a whole range of leafy greens, from your traditional vegetables to, normal stuff, your spinach, sukuma wiki, cabbage, to things like your courgettes, your carrots, your onions, your potatoes, bananas, free-range eggs, occasionally milk, you could find goat milk. I mean, like I can see berries. I mean, the range is wide. I mean, like literally you can find almost everything you need here. And then now in the areas of food, but value added, you can find like healthy breads, you can find cheese, you can find spreads, you can find dips, nut butters, whatever in that range. And then now, because we want to complete the social aspect, there's cooking stations. So, I mean, like we take a holistic, the human living collectively.
It's like a healthy chill spot in Nairobi, Yeah. Now, if I'm a farmer, I've already passed the requirements that you need, I've already paid the fee. Am I able to get a stand? And how much is it? And am I bringing my umbrella that usually hides the plants or vegetables from the sun? Or are you providing that?
So, in terms of all the infrastructure resources, all the setup, the market strictly provides that. So you'll come get your station or your booth, you'll get a table, you'll get a chair. If you're not under shade, you need an umbrella, there will be an umbrella. And then in terms of costs, farmers pay it's like the cheapest, the most affordable. So a farmer station will be about 600 bob. And if you are in the other categories of value addition, normal standard table that we have is about 1,250, and sometimes it's discounted if you do a whole month plan.
And for the prices of the produce that you've mentioned, because there's a perception that, you know, organic produce is very expensive. Maybe that's why most Kenyans know this place, but they just don't come here. Is that true or false?
And that's why it's a perception. You've got to come and experience. You have to come here, touch the produce, feel the produce, and compare what they're charging, you know? So, but I would say generally we price what you would pay in the supermarket or Mama Mboga, because you can imagine a bunch of about between 500 to 700 grams will go for 50 shillings. So you can imagine in your neighboring kiosk, it's like 20, 25 bob. So for me, cost is neither here nor there. And again, if you really care about yourself, why don't you just go for a good product? Yeah.
What are the challenges that you face?
Challenges, it's always getting farmers. That's one challenge. Two, you know, once we finish our inspections and things like that, we're not in those farms to know what the farmer is doing. We're working on the belief that they'll continue doing a good job. So we're also relying on some level of trust between us and the producers, you know? So I would say one of the challenges is just getting farmers. We need farmers.
To come and bring their produce
we
here.
Need farmers.
There are many, they do not have market, honestly speaking.
And again, you know, we are in the phase where we want to reduce the supply chain. So more community markets, for me, would be a success in different places, so that the chain from the production to the market is shortened, and whoever is selling has to be the farmer, so that they can get that money and put it in their pocket at the end of the day.
Do you facilitate the produce coming all the way from the farm to this place?
No, we don't.
Or so it is just the farmer ajipange too?
The farmer. For us, we provide what we provide. It's the responsibility now to grow and run their businesses. Yeah.
Have you seen the growth of farmers? Because that is something that a farmer would really want to look into before signing up for this.
I would say yes, but I don't want to talk on their behalf. But I can tell you most of these farmers, I've worked with them for more than 10 years. So for them to continue coming here every weekend, then it means it's something good for them. Yeah.
That is good. Now, talking about how to get other people come to this place, how do you make this place accessible to the country?
I mean, reality says only the community people in Karen would access this, or the ones that are willing to drive from wherever they're driving to this market. That's the reality. There's nothing much you can do about that. But I think I am in the phase where I want to get more community markets to different places, so that more producers could operate in their communities. Yeah, so that no one has to drive from I don't know where to come to here. Yeah.
Are you looking to establishing such markets in other parts of the country?
100%.
Which ones?
Yes. I think one of the things that I'm very key and particular for the next 2 years is setting up more markets. So we are sort of like into international collaborations where we want to set community markets in different places within this country. Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Where can people find us?
Yeah.
Easy, just go online. Look for Organic Farmers Market, you'll find us. Be it Google My Business, Instagram, Facebook, we're there. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dennis, for your time.
Very
that
good.
Has been Dennis Sandaya, founder of Organic Farmers Market here in Karen. He has given us, number one, the reason why he started this place. It has helped him go through the journey of healing in the autoimmune disease that he was diagnosed with some time back. And he says that for real, healing is healing indeed. And his body is recovering really well thanks to the produce that is in this place. He has also mentioned that farmers need to know this place because it is kind of hard for them to identify the farmers. So if you're there and you're in organic farming, please reach out to Organic Farmers Market so that you can come and get access to market. That has been one challenge that farmers really face. Yeah, that has been Youth in Agriculture, and a big thank you to everyone who has been behind this successful production. And see you next time. Bye.
All right, we've seen what the youth are doing in the field, and I hope you got to learn something today. Marion,
Yeah,
you are with the youth.
I was.
Will you get to learn nini from what they were doing?
Sweetness. The farm has a lot of sweetness, and not only about the food products that are from the farm, but also the value in terms of cash. Mullahs, hey, it is great, it is intense, and that is what we encourage you to do here on Farm Kenya. And by the way, you can definitely catch these episodes on our Farm Kenya YouTube. That is KTN Home. Subscribe to KTN Home in order for you to get more of these exciting farming episodes. But for now, we are going on a short commercial break. Keep it Farm Kenya Show.
Mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya. Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
All right, welcome back to this particular segment where we speak to various players within the agriculture value chain. And today we are joined by Selofas Orera, who is the CEO of Inua Youth Africa Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, and now let's get right into the conversation. Of course, you help various youths within the agriculture value chain. First of all, how did this event start?
The foundation itself?
Yes.
Okay, the foundation, we started it last year between the month of November to December. Yes. By that time, I was unemployed. Yes. I'm a surveyor by profession.
Okay.
So I was back at home. Yes. I was unemployed. So I was a bit depressed. Yes. And I had some little savings.
Okay.
Yes. So I was looking for something that can keep me busy. At the time, I was still waiting for the employment.
Okay.
Yes. So I decided to engage myself in farming. Yes. That's how I started I started my journey in agriculture. So as time goes by, I realized that you can create employment through agriculture and get some income and survive on it.
Okay.
Yes. So that's how the idea of Inua Youth Foundation came by. Yes.
Okay. All right. So far, since you started last year,
yes.
So far up to now, when you look at the journey and when you look at how different youths have come and made contact with you, the encounters that you've made, at the end of the day, what do you think the youth are missing when it comes to how agriculture is supposed to be carried?
I think most youth, they lack the mentorship. Yes, because most of us, we are used to the old way of agriculture. Yes. So most youth, they still cannot believe that you can do agriculture and get a good income out of it. Yes, because we don't have the mentorship programs in our society. Yes.
Right, and now when it comes to financing,
yes,
because many youth who are involved in agriculture,
yes,
most of the time finances usually are a challenge. Even how to get land, how to secure finances in order for them to just run their businesses or their farming activities. How do you do this, and who are the people that you are collaborating with in order for you now to even help some of the youth within this particular sector?
Okay, when I started it, the foundation, Inua Youth, I was financing it with my own finances, my own savings,
Okay.
actually. Yes,
And how was that?
It was a bit difficult because unajua pia you are struggling and then you want to support other people. So it was a bit challenging. Yes. But I reached out to some few friends who are in a formal sector who are giving me the financial support. Yes. That's how I was able to finance the youth. Yes.
All right. So now still on financing the youth, because someone is watching this and saying, okay, how do I make sure that I'm also involved in this, and how do I get to the Inua Africa Youth Foundation?
Inua Youth Africa Foundation.
Inua Youth Africa Foundation.
Yes.
So what goes into the requirements? Because I can come as Kelvin and say, okay, I would like also to be financed. Maybe I can lie on the documents and say, okay, this is the type of agriculture I'm doing. I would like a support on this and this, and these are the funds that I need. So what goes into the process of verification?
Okay, initially we were just giving support. We were not doing our due diligence, but we realized that maybe you can support someone, maybe a group, because we normally support them in groups. That one is a bit cheaper compared to when you support an individual. So we realized when we support a group, when we follow up, we found that maybe, for example, there's a group that we supported with 100 chicks. And when we followed up after 2 months or 3 months, we found out that the chicks had died.
All of them?
All of them. So we came out with an idea that for us to support the groups or the youth, first you must register with us, but registration is free. Yes, so that we can have your
details.
Yes, it make it easier when we want to follow up. Yes, so you just register with us. It is free, and then you tell us what you want the foundation to support. Yes, be it chicks, be it seeds, be it the piglets, yes, the fertilizer. But we don't support fully because the foundation is not, we are still starting. Yes, we still don't have the funds. Yes, the massive funds. So we support 50% of the projects. Yes.
Right. That's a really important thing to put out there, because at the end of the day, someone might say, okay, I'll come like that and then I'll get the full support.
Okay.
Right. So let's look at another different issue when it comes to how agriculture is being viewed in Kenya at this time. And now we are seeing very many young people getting into agriculture. They're trying to do kitchen gardening. They're trying to do balcony gardening, if you could call it that. At the end of the day, where are we moving to in terms of incorporating technology into this? And how do you think organizations like yours or foundations like yours can contribute also towards the growth of this going forward?
Most youth are starting to realize that they can engage in agriculture and create employment through this, but they don't have the force that can push them to engage in these activities. So that's why the foundation like Inua Youth and Minimo are coming up to support the youth, or to encourage them to engage in agriculture. Yes, I don't know whether I've answered your question.
You have. You clearly have.
Yes.
All right, so let's look at young people in the university, young people who have not really finished school, but they would also like to get into this. How easy is it for them to do this? Or does it have like a cap where you're saying up to this moment, up to this time, or up to this age is where someone might get to us? Because someone might come who is in high school and say, okay, I want to do poultry farming when on holiday at home.
Yes.
I would like to get into that. So how do you go about it?
We have the age limit from 18 to 30. Yes.
So above 30.
Kidogo.
Why that? Why 30?
Because when you reach 30, at least unaweza kuwa na some sort of an employment. But from 18 to 25, 27,
yes,
you are still struggling. You are fresh from the university, you are fresh from college. But when you reach 30, at least unaweza kuwa ushapata some sort of employment. Yes. But most youth when you are between 18 to 25, 27, 28, yes, they are still struggling. That's why tulikuwa tunaona when we support the younger youth, it is a bit better. Yes. Because when you are 30, those are millennials, let's say so. Yes, but when you're 18 to mid-20s, they still don't believe that agriculture can be a source of employment. That's why we want to encourage them by supporting them.
Okay.
Most of them also don't want to engage in agriculture because they lack the funds. Yes. So that's why we are encouraging the younger generation. Yes.
All right, and also let's look at the farm inputs. Of course, you've mentioned. Let's not even go to the farm inputs. You spoke about chicks. You helped a group with chicks.
Yes.
What are some of the other ways in which you're helping farmers, and where do you get this? Like for example, the chicks that you got, there are 100 of them. How did you come into contact with them, and how going forward, if someone comes and says, okay, I need seeds on this particular crop that I need to be planting, or I need support in this kind of farming that I'm doing, maybe the livestock or rabbit farming. So where do you get this particular seeds or the chicks that you usually help farmers with?
From the reputable companies, yes. But before we offer the support, for example, a farmer can approach us, but is from the Nyanza region, yes, and maybe you want to do, let's say, maybe pig farming, yes. Maybe from Nyanza region, but for example, you want to do, let's say, which kind of farming does not do better in Nyanza region?
Because Nyanza, you know, the weather is pretty much tropical.
Yes.
So maybe, let's say...
Okay, let's say for us to support you, we look at the region. What does better in that region? We don't just support. Yes. Yes.
All right. So let's also look at young people and accessing finances in agriculture, because that's a big challenge.
True.
So now that you've said you're still sourcing for that, going forward, we expect kufanyia youth nini going forward who are coming to wanataka kusaidiwa in agriculture?
In agriculture, first, we need to offer them mentorship even before we give them the seeds, the chicks, because they lack the mentorship. You can give them the chicks, but they don't have the knowledge, so it will be a waste of the resources.
Yes.
Yes. So we are liaising with the experts, maybe, for example, expert from this field. Yes, we approach them and invite them to seminars, yes, where we bring youths together and they talk to the youth, yes, who are willing to engage or to get into farming. Yes. So we offer, first of all, we offer them mentorships before we give them the support. Yes.
And trainings as well.
Yes.
When you look at trainings, do you have, are you planning to be do trainings, especially when it comes to how young people need to handle different types of farming. Kuna plan kama hiyo yenye mko nayo ya kufunza the young people?
How they can?
Like kutrain a platform where mna train youth, mnaweka in a place, or like a course, maybe a monthly course or some weeks, in order for them to learn kitu kama hiyo. Are there plans to do that?
Yes, there are plans, but unajua to offer the trainings, we also need the finances. Yes, so we are still bado tunaongea na some other people or financial wenye wanaweza to finance. Yes, so that we can do all these things. Yes, but for now we still don't have that capability.
Okay.
Yes.
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 All right. So wacha tuangalie the challenges, especially when it comes to from the farm to the market. Hiyo value chain yenye inakuanga hapo, the transportation, the storage. Vile umekuwa ukiwork na farmers, different farmers, maybe wa crops and the poultry, ni challenges gani ndio unafikiria wanapitia zenye at least hata ukiongelesha stakeholders huko nje wenye wanaweza kusaidia in agriculture, they can come in and help, especially how from the farm, if you've harvested a crop in the farm, by the time you get it to the market, unapata zingine huwa zinakuanga zime spoil. So what are some of the other challenges zenye umeweza ku-encounter with young farmers who are coming to you?
First of all, the cost of production. Like say ukiangalia cost of feeds, iko very high. Yes, so unaweza pata maybe wanaweza, for example pigs, unajua pigs ina take a maximum of 6 months ndio ifike kwa market. But ndio ifikishe hiyo ifikishe the kg yenye ina market ina require, inataka ikule vizuri.
Okay.
Yes.
But so kuna kg yenye huwa market ina require.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Ndio upate hiyo profit. But unapata hata ndio ya 10 hiyo kg unafaa kuifeed, na unajua feeds nini, chakula za pigs ziko tofauti. Ina depend from the stage 1 to hiyo time iko ready for the market. So unapata feeds ikiwa expensive, hata ikipeleka kwa market hakuna profit yenye atamake.
Okay.
Yes. Profit inakuwa kidogo kabisa. So hii ina demoralize my youth. Yes. Wasiingie kwa nini? Kwa farming. So unapata time inafika kwa market, juu pia unajua lazima ikuwe na chain. Ikitoka kwa farm kuna some brokers hapo katikati. Sasa ikifika kwa market unapata farmer kuna kitu anapata.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Alafu hata before uendelee, umemention maneno ya brokers. Unajua when it comes to agriculture na hiyo moving from the farm to the market, our brokers huwa hawawezi kosa, of course wanakuanga all the time. Yes. So ni challenges gani zenye umepitia na some of the brokers, na unafikiria are they people wenye wanaweza kukua evaded, ama like unaweza fika kwa market bila kupita kwa broker?
Ni ngumu. Kama ndio una establish, ni ngumu sana uingie kwa market bila kujuana na au mabrokers. Yes, jua ndio wana connect na the market.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Na other challenges zenye maybe encounter despite your maneno ya brokers, cost of production, kuna any other challenges, especially when it comes to moving products, and also vile umesema pigs, and maybe wacha nikuulize the diseases that was in a come usually from where you sit, like na vile una manage many of the farmers, the young farmers that you're managing, unafikiria hiyo awareness iko especially on how to take care of livestock, especially zikiwa wagonjwa, or even crops wakati weeds zimekam? Unafikiria kuna hiyo awareness ama hiyo tu inakwanga tu idea yenye youth amekaa chini amesema by the way sina pesa, acha ni pande stuff alafu ni get do? So what do you think?
Okay, nimekuambia huwa tuko na some experts like wenye kwa poultry, kwa pig, kwa nini. So ukipata a farmer akiwa na shida, anaweza enda kwa kwa social media, maybe kwa YouTube, aangalie hizo symptoms. But akishindwa, anaweza to reach out. Then tuna reach out to the experts. Sasa kwa maneno ya diseases tumejaribu kukab. Yes. Yeah.
And sasa kwa hizo diseases the experts ndio
wanatusaidia.
And do you have like a website ama page where unajua mtu anaweza squeeze to, we live in a digital age of course where kila kitu iko social media, kila kitu iko kwa mtandao. So do you have platforms where people wanaweza kuja wapate hiyo information one time alafu they make sure they do that?
Information ya...
Yeah, information on sickness, information on, not sickness, diseases, information on how to manage different kinds of agriculture, the value chains that are there, the markets. Do you have anything like that?
No, but we took a plan.
Okay.
Yes, we have a plan.
All right. So even as we continue, of course, agriculture inaendelea ku evolve. Yes. We have different innovations that are coming. We have technology that is coming in kusaidia ku improve agriculture.
Yes.
So for your foundation which deals na my youth, technology of course lazima ita play a big part. And even as you continue working with the youth, unafikiria going forward, what do you think you can add in order for you at least kufikia very many masses and at least especially the youth that we have? Unajua youth ndio biggest population sahi.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why tunajaribu kwa reach through the media, mainstream media. Yes, pia tunajaribu ku diversify through ama TikTokers, YouTubers. Tunajaribu kuwaongelesha ndio tuweze ku liaise nao. Yes, to pass information through our. Pia tuko na sasa tuna move from county to county.
Okay.
Tuna liaise na the leaders, the local leaders from MCA to MP to the au wenye wamechaguliwa kwa county offices. Yes, kama unaweza tupea hizo the platform. Unajua for example MCA yako kwa grassroots.
Yes.
Yes. So for example tukienda in an area like niseme Kitui, tunatafuta au MCAs, then wana to connect na the youth, the leaders. Yes. So that's how tunaweza we manage to reach the youth. Yes. In the grassroots.
Okay.
Yes.
Alafu mko na pages za social media kama Instagram, TikTok,
yes. Tuko na
Facebook, hiyo inaitwa Inua
Youth Africa
Foundation.
Yes.
Hivyo tu.
Yes.
Hata on IG.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa. So I think hapo pia mnaweza fikia my youth and you try to engage them at least as well. Si ndio?
Yeah.
Yes. So unaweza encourage nini my youth uko nje? Unajua kuna youth ameanza hizi stuff za agriculture, ameanza kupanda, ameanza kugrow different kinds of crops, and also wengine wameanza hizi farming zenye umemention, especially the pig farming, poultry farming, na maybe disease imekam kama hizo chicks zenye ulipeana the 100 ones zikakufa, but now there's a way in which wanaweza come up again, because mtu anaweza kuwa ame give up. So any advice that you would give kwa a young person who's started this but ikafail?
Okay, advice naweza waambia ni agriculture ni kama any other business. Na pia is not a get rich quick. Lazima you put in the work. But unajua most youth wanaifanya one time and they want to be millionaires because wamesikia kuna mwenye anafanya pig farming and is a millionaire.
Okay.
But they don't know the journey. Maybe amechukua 3 to 5 years. Ama maybe alikuwa lucky. But chinaweza wamba my youth wakuwe patient, wa put in the work, na it will pay off.
Okay.
Yes.
Asante sana. All right, that is it from us here. I was speaking to Selofas Orera, who is the CEO Inua Youth Africa Foundation, speaking to us about the young people and what you need to do when it comes to agriculture. All right, and for now, we are going to be joined by Marion.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
That was quite an engaging conversation kama kawaida. But Kelvin, umelan lini?
Nimelan vitu mob. Nimelan vitu mob. Kama nimelan one thing enye inaitwa, you need as a young person, when it comes to agriculture, financing, ikifika maneno ya financing, it doesn't matter kama hauna do. At the end of the day, Inua Youth Africa Foundation watakusaidia kupata hizo funds. Ndio? Hiyo ndio kitu nimelan, cause unajua most of the time when we want to do agriculture, unaanza kwa kufikiria land, pesa, But nimelan kama hauna hiyo do ama kama hauna ways, just make sure you reach out to these guys and then wataku connect to the right people.
Wonderful. Melan, you really need to have all the value chain inputs. When it comes to money, when it comes to the seeds, the fertilizer and everything. But Kevo Manzini kuna swali. And the swali is going to our amazing farmer of the day. And the question is one. It's a riddle. I am not alive, yet I grow. Who am I? Let me repeat. I am not alive, yet I grow. Who am I?
You are alive?
No, I'm not alive. I'm not alive, yet I grow. Who am I? Okay, to count down, sindio? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Random guess. Last chance. Nothing. Kelvin. I am not alive.
Sasa unataka kunika. Unataka tu kunika. Uliza.
I am not alive, yet I grow. Who am I?
I think either mushroom.
Last take.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's your final take, eh?
Yeah.
And to you, I am not alive, yet I grow. The answer is soil. Exactly. Look at their faces. But thank you so much for joining us on today's conversation on Farm Kenya. And remember, next week to Patane, same time, same place. It has been an amazing show with you. And let's see you next week. My name is Marion Munyaunganga.
And mine is Kelvin Yakundi.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kuulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu.